Hi, I'm Chandrika Jairam, founder the Evolve Room. Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever replayed the same conversation 100 times? Or imagined every possible worst scenario before making a simple decision? You tell yourself to stop thinking, but your brain just won't stop. The truth is, you're not overthinking because you're weak. You are overthinking because your brain thinks it's keeping you safe. Yes, today in this video, I will explain exactly why this happens. And also the good news. I'll also explain how you can finally break free from overthinking. If you have a pattern of overthinking, then this video is for you. And if you like it, please share and subscribe. Share it to those people who have the same pattern so that they can also overcome. Hey, have you ever noticed how one small situation can turn into hundreds of thoughts? You send someone a message, they don't reply, and suddenly your mind starts creating stories. Maybe they are upset with me. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe they didn't like me anymore. But here's the truth, none of these are facts, they are only thoughts. Overthinking happens when we keep thinking long after thinking has stopped being helpful. Instead of solving the problem, our brain creates new ones. It usually starts with one simple event. Then comes one thought. That thought leads to another, then fear, then stress, and before we know it, we are trapped in an endless cycle of overthinking. The good news is this, just because your brain creates a thought doesn't mean it's true. When you learn to observe your thoughts, instead of believing every one of them, you begin to break the cycle. And that's the first step towards a calmer, more peaceful mind. Did you know your brain has one primary job? To keep you alive, not to make you happy, not to make you successful, just to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors survived by constantly looking for danger. A rustling sound in the forest could mean a wild animal. So the brain learned to always stay alert. The interesting part is that survival system is still active today. Only now the dangers have changed. Instead of worrying about wild animals, we worry about emails, relationship, money, our future, and what other people think. Your brain doesn't like uncertainty. It treats I don't know as something could be wrong. So it starts searching for answers, even when there aren't any. Imagine your boss says, "Can we talk?" Within seconds, your mind starts racing. Am I getting fired? Did I make a mistake? Is something wrong? Nothing has actually happened yet. But your brain is trying to protect you by preparing for the worst. Remember this, it's the same brain, but different dangers. The moment you understand that your brain is trying to protect you, not sabotage you, you stop fighting your mind and start training it. And that's where real freedom from overthinking begins. Have you ever noticed that when you don't know what's happening, your mind fills in the blanks? That's because your brain hates uncertainty. It loves certainty. It wants answers. And when it doesn't have them, it starts creating its own. Imagine you send a message to a friend. Hours pass and there's no reply. The truth is, you simply don't know why. But your brain doesn't like, I don't know. So it starts telling stories. They must be upset with me. They are ignoring me. I ruined the friendship. Notice something? Nothing has actually happened. Yet your brain is already imagined the worst. Why? Because your brain believes that having any answer feels safer than having no answer at all. It would rather create a painful story than sit with uncertainty. But here's the truth: not knowing isn't dangerous, it's simply unknown. The next time you catch yourself imagining the worst, pause and ask yourself, is this a fact? Or is my brain trying to fill in the blanks? That one question can stop the cycle of overthinking and bring you back to reality. Remember, peace begins when you stop believing every story your mind creates. Did you know there's a tiny part in your brain that's constantly watching out for danger? It's called the amygdala, and you can think of it as your brain's smoke alarm. Its job is simple: to detect danger and keep you safe. The moment it senses a threat, it switches on your body's stress response. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tighten, your breathing changes, and your mind starts racing. But here's the problem: your amygdala can't always tell the difference between a real danger and an imagined one. If a lion were chasing you, the response would save your life. But today, your brain can react the same way to a simple thought like, what if I lose my job? Or what if I fail? Even though nothing dangerous is happening in that moment, your brain sounds the alarm as if it is. That's why overthinking can feel so real. Remember, just because your brain triggers an alarm doesn't mean you're actually in danger. The amygdala is trying to protect you. It just doesn't always know the difference between reality or imagination. And once you understand that, you can begin to calm your mind instead of believing every fear it creates. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to think clearly when you're anxious? That's because two different parts of your brain are competing for control. The prefrontal cortex is the thinking part of your brain. It's responsible for making decisions, solving problems, staying calm, and thinking logically. But when you're under stress, something changes. The emotional brain becomes louder and the logical brain becomes quieter. That's why a small problem can suddenly feel enormous. Here's an easy way to understand it. Imagine your brain is a car. The amygdala is the accelerator. It reacts quickly and says, danger, do something. And the prefrontal cortex is the steering wheel. It helps you slow down, think clearly, and choose the best decision. But when fear takes over, it's like expressing the accelerator so hard without holding the steering wheel. Now the ride becomes chaotic. The good news is every time you pause, take a deep breath and think before reacting, you're strengthening your prefrontal cortex. You're teaching your brain that calm, not fear, is in control. And that's how you begin to replace overthinking with clarity. One decision at a time. Have you ever noticed why the same negative thoughts keep coming back? It's because your brain learns through repetition. Every time you think the same thought, you strengthen a neural pathway in your brain. Imagine walking across a grassy field. The first time you walk, nothing really changes. But if you walk the exact same path every single day, eventually a clear trail appears. Your thoughts work exactly the same way. The more often you tell yourself, I will fail, the stronger that pathway becomes. Soon, your brain starts taking that route automatically. Let's look at a simple example. Before your first interview, you think, I'm nervous. Before the second interview, what if I fail? By the third interview, your brain says, I always fail. Notice what happened? A single thought slowly became a belief, and your brain began treating that belief as reality. But here's the good news, if repetition can build a negative pathway, it can also build a positive one. Every time you choose a healthier thought, take a new action, or respond differently, you're creating a new path in your brain. Your past thoughts shaped your current mind, but your future thoughts can reshape your future. Here's something interesting. Your brain actually believes that overthinking is helping you. It tells you, if I think about this long enough, if I analyze every possibility, I will avoid making mistakes. It sounds logical, but in reality, the opposite usually happens. Instead of finding clarity, overthinking creates more stress, poor decisions, less confidence, and mental exhaustion. Why? Because your brain gets stuck in analysis instead of taking action. Here's an easy way to understand it. Imagine you're driving a car, but instead of looking through the windshield, you're always staring only at the rear view mirror. You're constantly looking back, reviewing every mistake, replaying every conversation, thinking about what you should have done differently. Can you move forward safely like that? Of course not. That's exactly what overthinking does. It keeps your attention on the past or on imagined future problems instead of the present moment where real solutions exist. Remember this, thinking more doesn't always mean thinking better. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is stop analyzing, trust yourself, and take the next small step. Because clarity doesn't come from endless thinking, it comes from action. Now that you understood why overthinking happens, let's talk about how to stop it. Step 1. Notice the thought. Instead of saying I'm anxious, say I'm noticing an anxious thought. That small change reminds you that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. Step 2. Ask yourself, is this a fact or it is the story my mind is creating? You will be surprised how many thoughts disappear right here. Step 3. Come back to the present moment. Take a slow breath, look around you, feel your feet on the floor. Most of the time, the present moment is much safer than the future your mind is imagining. Step 4. Take one small action. Action breaks the cycle of overthinking. Your brain learns by doing, not by endlessly analyzing. And finally, step 5. Accept uncertainty. Sometimes the healthier answer is I don't know yet. And that's okay. Remember this powerful truth. Overthinking doesn't predict the future, it steals the present. The more you practice awareness, presence, and action, the quieter your mind becomes and the more peaceful your life feels. If today's video helped you understand why you overthink and more importantly, how to overcome it, I really appreciate your support. Please like this video, subscribe to the Evolve Room, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. You never know whose life it might change. I would also love to hear from you in the comments what situation you find yourself overthinking the most. Whether it's relationship, work, money, or your future, share it below. Your story might help someone else analyze they're not alone. And if you're ready to move beyond overthinking and start creating real change in your life, I would love to help you personally. I'm offering a limited number of free discovery calls where you will identify what's keeping you stuck, uncover the root of your patterns, and create a clear path toward a calmer, more confident life. If you would like to book your free discovery call, simply comment below and I will get in touch with you. Until next time, remember you are not your thoughts, you are the one who observes them. And that awareness is where change begins. I'm Chandrika Jairam, and this is the Evolve Room. Keep evolving, one thought, one choice, and one day at a time. Thank you.